Me, a born leader. No more videos about my nose running. Because my enemies is trying to use that as a way. They try to take credit. I don't know. Some people just take credit for. I woke up this morning great. Walking out my house. Of course, they had to hate. All of a sudden, my nose was running. I got allergies out the ass. Symptoms of COVID-19. Let me stop. Somebody put something. You know, Poppy gotta rub it in. He started cutting grass. And this already happened to me when I used to work in Amazon. The same thing happened to me. My nose just started running out of nowhere. Niggas hated on me. Out of nowhere, my shit started running crazy. I couldn't even control it. And I'm thinking, yeah, I might be allergic to grass. Like, I've never been allergic to anything. Nigga, I eat anything. Nigga, fuck is you talking? When I didn't eat meat, that's because I chose not to eat meat. It wasn't because I was allergic to it. So I've never been allergic to nothing. I just happen to be one of them niggas that's barely sick. If I do get sick, it's not something that can hold me down. I still go to work very sick and everything else like that. You wouldn't even know if I was sick, honestly. But I never had a sickness that held me down where I couldn't do nothing. So when I came here, I was like, yo, what the fuck? But that shit still didn't hold me down. I still went to work and everything, but I never felt that kind of allergy before. So, of course, I didn't take no medicines at that time. So what I just did was just, cut back time a little bit. I left work a little early. And, you feel me, just to, get used to this whole new thing that's trying to fight me from the inside or whatever it is. I guess they're using the same old tricks again because they've seen that. I like when they get to that stage. That means I'm doing something good. And that also means that a lie is going to be told on me. Because they get so desperate sometimes that they resort to these kind of acts. And the last time we seen what happened when they had to resort to these kind of acts, they damn near lied on me and pushed me out the building type shit. So it is what it is, man. If the hate don't work, they're gonna spread lies. Yeah. Hold on. Today's February. I understand. Today's February 18, 2021. I have 10 minutes with you guys. You feel me? I said 2021. February 18, 2022. 2022. Get used to it. I got 10 minutes with you guys, and we already got into the topic already. Why do these people feel inferior to do these things to somebody who's superior to them? You feel me? And we have to talk about the signs behind the behavior itself. Why do people place themselves in an inferior position? All of us is great. You feel me? There's not one of us that is inferior. All of us are superior. We are very much as great as the next person. When I realized that I was as great as MLK or Malcolm X, I'm as great as Jesus Christ. Yeah, I was fucking intoxicated with it. It went to my head. I'm like, oh shit. Nobody told me. I was like, how come I'm not them? The question came to me. Like, yo, you can be like them. When you start reading their bio, right? When you start reading their bio, you like, yo, these niggas had a similar life to me. But they being seen in a high, we pay respect to them and everything else like that. And I'm like, yo, that could be you. That could be the next person. I'm like, you see, you start taking more wealth into yourself. You're like, I could be that person. I could be that. I could move a civilization. You feel me? Start thinking in that higher form of thinking. So I realized that none of us is inferior. All of us are superior. And when you think in that form, you carry yourself and you treat others as such. If I feel like you're superior and I'm also superior, then I treat you like royalty. Because I have that respect aspect for you, because I don't want to be treated as I'm treating you. Now, you in that state of mind, you thinking like that. But how about if somebody who's in a state of mind of being inferior? You see, let it pass. I don't have the time to even say let it pass. I just gotta talk. You see, a person who's superior think on a superior thought frame. He can never relate to somebody who's inferior, just like a person who's inferior can never relate to somebody who's superior. Like I said, everybody is superior, but there's some people, their behavior tells you that they might appear superior, but their behavior said that they're inferior. You feel me? When you constantly competing with somebody for your attention, right? The reason why people even have that kind of energy to compete with other people for their attention, because they're young. But sooner or later, when you get to a certain age, you start to realize, like, I don't even have the energy to pursue this. You see? I'm gonna put it in a different term. Let's take a look at basketball. You see these young basketball players, when they start out young, they flying, boom, dunking, boom, running up and down the court. But the older they get in the basketball world, the wiser they become. Instead of doing all that 100 miles flying and jumping and windmilling, some people develop their game into a three-point shot. They might pass the ball instead of just going all the way. They start to preserve their energy because they're getting wiser, because they know that the fuel tank, if they feel they get to know that I'm kind of old, I can't do the things that I used to do. You see, this is when wisdom come in. A person, you see, that is security, because you're thinking in that form of frame already. You don't even have to get old or anything else like that. You already compassionate. Life didn't defeat you to become compassionate. Life didn't defeat you to become humble. You already humble. I know I have a big stick and I know I can use it to rule over you, but at the same time, I'm compassionate enough not to use it. You feel me? I know I lost you. I even lost myself because there's so much going on in that information. I ain't even gonna lie to you. A person who's inferior cannot think like that. They always have to compete with others, in turn putting them in an inferior position, because they're saying that I believe that you are better than me. So by taking you down, they have the energy still installed. They haven't developed. They have not come across that old age of being humbled down by life itself. So they constantly feel like I gotta fight you. In order for you, if you have to fight somebody for you to define who you are, that makes you an inferior person. Because superior is somebody who has already went through life and gained wisdom. But sometimes you don't even have to gain wisdom through life itself. You can watch others and become wise yourself by learning from other people's mistakes. That's what the wise do. A smart person is a person who, I can't even go through that explanation right now. But the reason why they're inferior, because they are relying upon others. That's why you compete against somebody. You feel me? You competing against somebody to win a prize or to gain an advantage of them. This bitch is stalking me, by the way. She's a stalker. Some people are just obsessed with you. Like, this is a perfect example of an inferior person. A person who constantly have to do things for validation. If you cannot be happy with who you are and you need attention, but you see, a person who needs attention would not say, I need attention. It's the action that spells what you're doing that says you need attention. So they're not out here saying I am inferior. It's the things that they do that tells you that they are inferior. Now, a superior person who don't have to do half of those things, because their action says that this person is very secure and know who they are and are superior in their own right. That do not need somebody else to validate who they are. They define themselves. You understand? A superior person is a person who constantly needs validation from others to define who they are. And life always kick their ass, because when they get old, sometimes they don't have the energy to be nosy. Sometimes they don't have the energy to go the extra mile, but they're getting smarter. You know, the devil always, find a way. They started to recruit younger people to do that shit for them so they can still get the validation. These niggas is the devil, my nigga. So we have a superior and inferior complex. We are not pronouncing ourselves as superior or the chosen ones or the righteous one or whatever you want to label us as. And they're not pronouncing it, and they're not saying that I'm inferior, I'm this, but it's the action, it's the intention that tells you everything that you need to know about these people. You feel me? They can tell you, they can lie till the cows come home. But it's your action. Who are you constantly competing with? Who are you constantly watching and being nosy to? Who are you constantly talking about? These are the things you need to start looking. Are you a student? Are you sometimes a teacher? Do you know how to pivot from position to position? Like I said earlier, when I was in New York, I was a manager in the store. You feel me? In the same city, I was an employee. I come here, I'm still an employee. In other places, I'm a leader. In other places, I'm a student. You got to know how to pivot when you go to same places. You could be a boss in this place and you can be very small in another place. You cannot take these things personal. These are superior complex that we move through in life itself. You cannot be the man everywhere you go. Jay-Z can walk in a room and feel small around some other men. But when he gets to a certain area, people are praising him like he's God and everything else like that. But when he gets to a certain environment, it's like, damn, these niggas is beyond me. They're above me. I'm not even on their level. You feel me? But an inferior person does not know how to accept these things. On the outside, it might look like they're accepting it, but on a scheme, they are plotting to disrupt everything else. And that's what they do. They never appear to be who they are. Their intentions are always wrong. You feel me? But they will never proclaim that they're inferior, but their action always say. So watch out for people action. I'm about to go and you already know. So, no, you go. Don't we start at 9?
Mm-hmm. Well, be here by 9. You know, we usually start.
You already came in there.
Yeah.